It's Time Warner Cable's local edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. Our guest, Jim Clarke, member of the Culver City City Council. And on the recent election, we saw Culver City vote yes on Measure Y to increase its sales tax a half a cent.
Correct.
Also yes on Proposition 30 to increase statewide sales tax by a quarter cent. So 3/4 of a cent sales tax increase in your city. All passed.
Yes, indeed.
Wow.
In fact, Measure Y was the second highest approval rating of any tax measure in the state with over 76%.
How?
I think people saw that all of that money that was going to be generated from that, it was going to stay local. It had a sunset clause on it of 10 years. We put in place also a public finance advisory committee to do an oversight on
Sure.
it. And 80% of it is going to be paid for like folks like you that come
Right.
to Culver City for our...
Right, I live right outside of Culver City, and I go to downtown constantly.
And we love you
and
for
you
doing
do.
that.
But it's interesting because if you look at Culver City, it does seem as if it's an example of how public dollars worked, because the downtown area is just phenomenal.
Correct. And we were hurt very, very significantly
Right.
by the loss of redevelopment,
Right.
which...
Although, what would you redevelop now? I mean, it's...
well, we have a number of parcels
Is it
actually.
farther east?
No, actually in the downtown, we have a big parcel in the downtown that we would like to continue to develop.
Which
it's
one?
called right next to, it's called Parcel B, but it's right between where the Trader Joe's and
Got
the
it.
movie theaters are.
Got it. Okay, I see what you're talking about. I want to talk more generally about this election. You have held office in the California Democratic Party.
Correct.
And I know you're a nonpartisan official now in Culver City, but I gotta say it was a pretty good day to be a Democrat on Tuesday, November 6th.
Exactly.
Yeah, and more stunning than I think most people expected. I mean, Prop 30 passed. The Democrats look like they're gonna have 2/3 majorities in the Senate and in the Assembly. First time since 1933 that's happened for either party. Nationwide, I mean, Democrats are winning close races, just left, right, and center. What happened?
Well, I think, first of all, that there was a broad coalition that still stuck together for Democrats. Young people voted in much the same numbers that they voted 4 years ago. There was a 11% gender gap among
Right.
with women. And minorities too. I think
I want to ask you about the ethnic minorities in our nation, because if you look at the results, African Americans voted over 90% for Barack Obama. Hispanics, Asians, Jews voted over 70%
Correct.
for Barack Obama. How does the Democratic Party keep that coalition together? Because white voters dropped for Barack Obama to over
Correct.
40%.
Correct. Well, we have to thank the Republican Party and their policies that basically, with women on women's issues and minorities on issues like immigration. And
But those voters of color, I mean, they were pivotal. Without voters of color, especially Latinos, Barack Obama
Correct.
does not win re-election.
But that's the way that the electorate is going, though.
Right.
I mean, the
So
Republican Party is appealing to older white voters who are aging out and becoming a smaller segment of the voting population.
But at the same time, how does the Democratic Party appeal to us? I mean, look, we're white guys.
Well, I voted.
I understand, but
Yeah.
seriously though, I mean, look, Barack Obama won, but in parts of the country, he got just smashed.
Correct.
Because he was losing white males so dramatically. And yes, you can rely on demographics, but still, you want to speak to everyone.
Well, that is a problem that we've got. And I think what the message of the election was, it's amazing that they spent billions and billions of dollars to maintain the status quo. But I think the message
right.
underneath it was, we want you folks to learn to work together, to play in the sandbox well together with each other. And so hopefully that's the good sign that we will see. So you have an attempt being made now by Harry Reid to be more conciliatory, the same with John Boehner to do that as well. We have this impending financial cliff, and
Sure.
I think everyone realizes
They got to get along.
that they've got to get along.
His name is Jim Clarke, member of the Culver City City Council. I'm Brad Pomerance. We thank you for watching Time Warner Cable's local edition.